So you're scrolling through your Instagram feed and you start to notice a trend in ads. Everything's focused on getting toned or achieving the perfect beach body. And then everyone you follow is posting pictures on pictures of food. And then someone made a funny meme about how we're all going to be 300 pounds by the end of this. And then someone else tagged you in the push-up challenge. And on and on and on. Quarantine does not lend itself to staying body positive. When encouragements to stay active turn into workout challenges and eating healthy turns into eating less, people with eating disorders are at risk for relapsing, or if they've never gotten treatment, spiraling.
Eating disorders really thrive in isolation, and so part of recovery is really about connection. So this is an added challenge right now. Eating disorders are coping mechanisms. People use their eating disorder to deal with what's going on. Everyone knows someone who has been affected by an eating disorder. Eating disorders have the highest mortality rate of any mental health diagnosis, or second only really to the opioid epidemic. We really need to acknowledge that this is a moment where there is a lot of uncertainty and there is a lot of collective anxiety, and we're all going through trauma right now. In this time, I think this is an important one for the broader culture. There's so much weight talk. I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and we're being bombarded with messages about, don't gain weight, or, there are all of these very jokey kind of memes and comments about, how much weight we're going to gain, how out of shape or in shape we can get. And so just recognizing that there's a huge population of people for whom those comments are really harmful. So we just have to check ourselves. If you're in treatment for an eating disorder, staying connected to your treatment team. If you're not in treatment, but you think you might need help, to reach out for that help. And on the other side of things, if you are a friend or a family member and you have someone in your life who has been either diagnosed with an eating disorder, or you suspect might be really struggling with these issues at this time, make an extra effort to check in. Really start from a place of non-judgment. People with eating disorders experience so much shame and so much secrecy. We need to take a pause and make sure that we're getting rest and we're doing the things to take care of ourselves that make sense for us.
And that message applies to everyone. It's not just people with eating disorders whose mental health is being impacted by staying at home. Anyone and everyone who's stuck at home just trying not to catch coronavirus and stay sane is susceptible to the negative messages that we see on social media. But it's hard to maintain perspective when advertisers and fitness bloggers are using this quarantine to capitalize on people's free time. Here's the good news. If you're feeling overwhelmed or on the verge of unhealthy behavior, there are steps you can take.
The first thing you need to do is unfollow and block and mute and protect yourself. Really use this time to create a feed on all of your social media channels that are promoting mental wellness and positivity and telling you that you're good enough. If it all gets too much, log the heck off, because you do not need to be exposed to that 24/7. If this time is messing with your relationship with food, you are absolutely not alone in that. I think there are hundreds and thousands of people going through exactly the same thing. Whenever I'm posting about don't panic if you're snacking more than usual, or it's okay if your body changes a little bit during this time, the response is so overwhelming. This is so clearly at the forefront of people's minds, which is wild considering what is going on in the world. Now could be a really, really good time to learn more about intuitive eating. It's about essentially relearning how to listen to your body, your fullness, your hunger, getting what your body actually needs, but not making anything forbidden or off limits, because that just wrecks our relationship with food. I think it's important as well to understand why eating disorder behaviors, or the urge to engage in eating disorder behaviors, is coming back up. We are in this time where everything feels completely out of our control and just overwhelming and confusing, and it's quite natural to latch back onto old behaviors that your brain is telling you is going to bring you some comfort or bring you a little more of a sense of control over what's going on. But it's so important to remember that, listening to that voice of your eating disorder, that's not taking control, that is losing control. We live in a culture that teaches us disordered eating, the way that we treat food and movement and our bodies in this current culture is so incredibly unhealthy, mentally and physically. And it's none of our fault when we come out the other side struggling with our relationship with food and how we feel about ourselves. We're taught to feel this way, and we don't deserve to blame ourselves for that.
There are people who are there to help. Reach out to mental health professionals. There are a lot of therapists who are seeing clients online right now, and there are apps available to those who have never tried therapy before or who can't afford traditional therapy.
If you go to nationaleatingdisorders.org, you can be immediately directed to our COVID-19 resource page, which includes a list of free and low-cost support options.
Staying healthy during this time is obviously important, but pushing yourself to certain fitness or weight goals is not necessary. Remember, social media is a slippery slope on a good day, so during a global pandemic, just try your best.